Hello and welcome to Cute Pixel. Today I am continuing my stream on open source software development, continuing my project, the Twitch Craps Table chatbot. Let's switch back to my screen here and take a look. So this is my stream schedule. Today I'm continuing work on my Twitch Craps Table chatbot. My next stream will be 1 week from today, Sunday, February 17th at 9 a.m. I start my stream as always by going over the work I've done on this project the last time I streamed, which was a week ago. So let's go take a look. So last week I documented new configuration properties. I added a couple of new things to our config document, but those were not documented, so I documented those. Then I added the ability to specify die values when manually rolling the dice. This is kind of a cheat code that I can use for testing purposes, so that if I want to test a specific edge case that needs the dice to do something specific, I could force that to happen rather than having it be totally random. Then we've added the ability to roll the dice after the rolling delay has expired. So we added a rolling delay. I think the default configuration is 60 seconds, and we will basically roll the dice once we get a bet after 60 seconds has elapsed. 60 seconds after the last bet. And then we now maintain a minimum balance for each player. So if a player bets some money and drops below their minimum balance, we will maintain their minimum balance of, I think, 100 is what we've set it to. Then some tasks we have coming up. So that was last week. The tasks I'm working on going forward, and hopefully get through most of these today. Start with save player balances. So basically, if you quit and restart the game, the chatbot, it'll maintain player balances. So if you earn a lot of money one stream or one session and come back later, we want you to still have that money going forward. We also add in the remaining craps bets. There's a whole bunch to add in. Don't pass, come, don't come. Odds for all of those above bets, place bets, field bets, hard ways, a whole bunch of different bets here. As they get kind of farther down, they get either worse or more elaborate. So I may not get all the way to the bottom, but we'll see. Allow players to serve as the bank. This is an idea. So normally when you're playing in this game, you're playing against some invisible bank that has unlimited funds. And you win, the money just comes into existence. If you lose, the money just evaporates. My thought here is to allow players to serve as the bank, so that when you win, the money doesn't come out of nowhere. It is coming from another player. If you lose, your money doesn't just vanish. It goes to the player who's serving as the bank. And I'm not sure how that'll work. I certainly have some concerns about that. But it feels like it might be interesting, so I'm going to try that and see what that does. Then add ability to remove bets. So some bets you can remove, some bets you can't. So I'll have to be careful about that and look at the logic for how to add and remove bets. Then finally, add the ability to turn bets on and off. So on the craps table, there are some classes of bets that you can turn on and off. Things like your odds bets, your come odds bets. Typically, you're allowed to turn those on and off. Your place bets you're allowed to turn on and off. Your hard ways are allowed to turn on and off. And so on a real craps table, you have some situations where bets will be turned on and off, like on the come out roll. They say hard ways are working unless you call them off. And so if you don't want your hard ways working on a come out roll, you can turn them off. Same thing with odds, come bet odds. Those are typically not working on a come out roll. And so if you want those to be working, you can say, I want my odds working. So just a couple different things you can do to manage your bets that I want to add in here. Some other things I want to consider. I want like a player guide. We've been working on our README file for the administrators, which is available on GitHub. If you go to github.com/cutepixel/twitch-crapsbot, you'll see the README I've been working on, and I've been documenting things as I go along here. So we've got our setup section, how to authenticate with Twitch, how to configure the bot, how to use it. We use Node.js, dependencies, how to run it. We have debugging tools. And so probably the last thing I want to add in is like a player's guide. And so I think that's something to look at. Let's just start with that. I've put that at the top so we can just start documenting that. And plus, once we have that, we can now add a help command. Maybe give players the help URL in response to the help command. So that way if somebody screws up or wants help, we can say, go to this URL, this is where you can find help. So yeah, let's get started. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Got the code up over here. Let's start with the README. There's a player guide. And we'll just copy this template here because we're just going to link to another README file. So just trying to think through what to say here. Oh, we can say instructions. Helps if I spell it correctly. Let's just copy and paste it because I've already spelled it once. Instructions for players are available in our... Let's just grab this link here. It's a player guide. Say guide.md. And now we need to create our player guide, so let's go ahead and create that real fast. Call it guide.md. Let's see, let's look up the README here. We've got Twitch, CrapsBot. Let's look up our contributing documentation. What does that say? Yeah, so we could just use that format. Just go steal from contributing.md. Player guide. Let's see. Let's just do like a small overview. This chatbot allows you to play Craps in Twitch chat. It'd be great if there's a good overview of Craps play. Let's say Wizard of Odds Craps overview. So this looks like this kind of describes the game pretty effectively. Ton of information here. Yeah, so let's link this. I think we'll just steal this here, steal this this kind of formatting guide here. And my copy paste is not working so hot. Let's try this again. Copy, paste. There we go. And I want to look up capitalization of the word craps as well. Yeah, so they use lowercase craps, so I'm going to do that as well. I will call this Craps Overview. And splat that into here. This chat bot allows you to play Craps in Twitch chat. Let's say play overview. Commands to the let's do this. We'll say the Craps chat bot, because that's what I call it in README. Let's double check the README. Twitch Craps bot. Let's see, how about the Twitch Craps bot? Allows you to play Craps in Twitch chat. See, commands to the Twitch chatbot start with Craps. Example, Craps dump, which links to this page. Players place bets using the Craps bet command. Example. Craps bet pass 1 places a... Well, let's steal the symbol we're using for dollar amounts. This should come from crapstable.js. This function's got buried a little bit here. Let's see if I can find it. Should be under format currency. Let's go look for format currency. Here it is. This is a 1.00 bet on the pass line. Craps table. Let's see. How about say the Twitch craps bot? It'll automatically roll the dice. After waiting. Let's say a short while after the last bet is placed. Let's see, the bot will continue to roll the dice as long as there are bets remaining. Now let's do a command overview. Or list of commands, or a command guide. Let's just look up the code to see what our commands are. I think they're pretty basic. So we have roll, but that's an admin command and a debug command, so we're not going to deal with that. So it looks like basically balance and bet are the commands we're talking about here. So let's just say, turn that volume down a little bit for me. I've got my song volume should be low enough for you guys. You should be able to hear me just fine, but I need to adjust my own personal volume sometimes. So let's say I see, we don't have a craps help command yet, so let me change this to a command that we do have. Yeah, we'll save the details for the command guide. This is what, let's say, craps bounce. Show your current balance. Craps bet. We have type specified amount. Place a bet of the specified type with a specified amount. Then we could say betting guide. Or bet the guide, maybe. We have the pass line. I think we'll stick with just that for the moment. And we'll see what this looks like. Let's go take a look at our diff. So we've modified README and we've added guides. Let's just do a diff. We've added a player guide section. Instructions for players are available in our player guide. We've also added player guide, which is this document here. Player guide. The Twitch Craps Stop allows you to play Craps in Twitch chat. How about we do Craps Basics? Let's check what that link looks like. Well, it just says Craps, but the URL says Basics, so we'll go with Craps Basics. Play overview. Commands to the Twitch Craps bot start with Craps. Example: Craps balance. Players place bets using the Craps bet command. Example: Craps bet pass 1. The Twitch Craps bot will automatically roll the dice a short while after the last bet is placed. The bot will continue to roll dice as long as there are bets remaining. There's more details I could add, but I'm not sure what's going to be important and whatnot, and I figured let's start with this. I think this is good enough as is to start with, and we can always add to it if we need to. So let's start with that. Add player guide. Go ahead and push that so we can review that immediately on GitHub. We also need to get a URL for that guide we can use to send to players for our next bit of logic here. So next is to give players a help URL in response to the help command. So let's go look at our GitHub repository and see what it looks like. Excellent. So we have our player guide. Instructions for players are available in our player guide. It is player guide. The Twitch Craps bot allows you to play Craps in Twitch chat. Craps Basics. This should link you to here, and it does. Excellent. Commands to the Twitch Craps bot start with Craps. Example: Craps balance. Bets or plays. Command guide Craps balance. Show your current balance. Craps bet type amount. Place a bet of the specified type with the specified amount. Looks good. I see the URL here, which is pretty lengthy. I'm wondering if there's a way to get a GitHub short URL. Plus, there's the question of do I want to link to a specific version of this? Which I don't really have a specific version to link to. So I think just this for now. We'll think about specific versions later on. Let's see if we could do like a GitHub short URL. Oh, that looks like one we can try, so let's just give it a try here. Excellent. Yeah, so let's go add in the help command now. Actually, let's keep the guide open. Because now as I add new commands, I want them to be reflected in our player guide. So let's go ahead and just add that right away. Perhaps help. Link to, let's see. Show a link to this guide. So now that we've got the player guide, I like to document help commands or document new commands as I add them, just so the documentation is always up to date. And let's go take a look at our code. There should be like a process command function. So else if command is equal to help. And I just want to respond to that help. Probably not with a user message. I mean, I can do a user message. Why not? We'll do a user message. Say player guide. And splat in this URL here. Let's just make sure that URL works. Let's go. Excellent. Sweet. Let's say for help, say do craps. So I'll modify the response when you don't issue a command at all, so you get some degree of help. If you need help, you could do craps help to get the full guide. So let's test this and see what this does here. So the bot has joined my channel. Let me try giving it no command. You must specify a command for help. Craps help. And then let's try craps help. Player guide. Let's click that link. And perfect, it does bring up my player guide. So everything seems to be working just fine there. The only thing I'm really considering at this point is, do I want to specify less text there? Like, do we just want the URL? Do we want to drop player? Do we want to say help? I think I'll stick with what we got and just see what that looks like for now. We can always revise that later. Yeah, let's take a look. So we've modified craps table, so we've added a little bit of assistance to this error message here. You must specify a command for help, craps help. Then if they issue the help command, we respond with this URL. And then we've added the help command to our command guide, so that looks great. Give players a help URL in response to the help command. Let's go ahead and add all this. See, I can't do a commit -m because I've got a exclamation mark in my commit message, so I'm just going to use the git editor, the commit editor here, which is just Pico, I think, or something similar. Nano, GNU Nano. So a Pico clone. Let's go ahead and push that so we have the latest and greatest help available. And we can double check this. As for craps help, show a link to this guide. So I think I want to replace the word balance with help just so we have the more generic command available. So let's go do that as well. Yeah, so we'll say, well, first let's move this up and we'll say replaced balance with help in the replace balance with help in the example craps command. This is like the more generic version to be available there. And perfect, there it is. So we've got craps help there. Alright, so I've got some very basic stuff working here. Let's go look at what's next. Up next is to save player balances. So I think for this, the easiest way will be to write a bit of JSON into a local file, encoding all the player balances, just a little data structure. Probably, let's go look at our code here, but I think we have a balances map, I think. Yeah, so we have player balances. And so that's probably what we would just want to write out. We'll write that to a file. Then when we start, we will read that from a file. So let's go just see how to write JSON to a file. Say JavaScript write JSON to file. Write hello to a file. Some example to write object. So it's json.stringify. Let's just see what that looks like. Let's try bring out. Let's just do some debug output in the die roll. Process roll. So I think wherever we want to do this is during a 7 out. That's basically whenever your craps table resets. And so we could say console.log, say JSON dot, what did they do? Stringify this dot player balances. Just want to see what that looks like. Now, so to speed things up, I'm going to speed up the embedding process here from a delay of 60 seconds to a delay of, let's go 5 seconds for this. And we'll give this a try. I suppose I could always use my cheat codes to do this. Let's have stream elements do its bit, and we'll see how this works here. See stream elements 1 right away, so let's do another bet for them. My bet was a little late, but we will stick with that there. And there we 7'd out. So here is our stringify, and there's nothing in there. All right, let's go take a look at what happened there. Interesting. Player balances is the structure, right? Let's go take a look at player balances, or at our structures. Oh. Let's say to simplify things, let's move this up to the top of this function so we can see a printout on every single roll. And just see what this does. Did I fail to save my file? I did. Damn it. Try this one more time. Yeah, so it's empty array every time. Let's try this and just see what this does. As we have player balance is empty, pass bed's empty, point 0, timer running true, timer counter 0. So for whatever reason, it's just not able to stringify a map. The spread operator lets you convert a map to an array of pairs. The constructor lets you convert an array of pairs to a map. Let's go to stringify map. New map JSON.parse. Yeah, so let's try this. Now let's go ahead and move this back to where we had it before, the 7out section, because that's pretty much where we're going to want to do this. So let's start there. Got too many windows open, so let's do another test. Establish a point of 9. 5, looking for that 9. 6, looking for that 9. 8, still looking for that 9. I want to make a note to look at update role formatting. Oh, there's our 7out. Excellent. So let's go take a look at our documentation. Or not our documentation, but our output. Okay, so we have stream elements. Negative 10,000. Or not negative, but just 10,000. Cool. Simple enough. So what we need now is to write this to a file. So we have fs.writeFile. Read file, create file. So we have append file, open write file. So append file appends to a file. If it doesn't exist, it'll be created. Open. Write file replaces the specified file and content if it exists. Yeah, so let's go with this. So if fs equals require fs, so I've got our file system variable set up. And now let's do this. All right, so we want a file. Say players.json. Content is going to be this. Then we have this callback function here. Not sure what's going on here. That might be some copy-paste garbage I don't care about. Simplify this a little bit here. Yeah. Yes, let's give that a try. Let's see if that'll write out the balances properly. I expect a token else. All right. Ah, yep. I did need that closing brace. Oh, come on. Out of that function. Let's see, to test this properly, I'm going to run my own bet here. So say craps bet pass 1. So looking to hit that 6. Seven out. Okay, so there is that. Not super exciting, because it'd be nicer if I won. Let's actually use the cheat for this. Let's go back to 60, so I have time to run the cheat process. Let's just try this one more time, and let's just set up a win condition. So we'll start with the same thing as before, say craps bet pass line 1. And now let's cheat and say craps roll 2-2. And we'll win with a craps roll 1-3. The point was made. I've won, so let's now look up the player's document and see if my balance is correct. First I'll grab my own balance just so I can double check that here. Balance is 101.00. Oh, I screwed up because it's only written out on a 7 out, and so I need to force the 7 out. So let's try this one more time. Say craps bet pass of 1. Say craps roll 2-2. Craps roll 1-3. Craps bet pass 1. Craps roll 2-3. Craps roll 3-4. Except that's not going to do anything because my balance is still going to be 100. Yeah, so let's do craps bet. Say craps bet pass line of 10. Now let's do craps roll 2-2. Craps roll 1-3. Craps bet pass 1. Craps roll 2-2. Craps roll 3-4. Alright, balance is 109, and that last 7 out should have written out the balances. So let's go take a look. Excellent, yeah, so there's the 109.00, so that is being written out. Of course, it's not read. If I go run the chatbot and do a craps balance, my balance is not going to be set. Yeah, so the next step is to actually read that file. Let's go take a look at what that might look like. So we have an init function. Where is that? We have an init timer. Yeah, let's just rename that to a init. We'll do all of our initialization here. Alright, so what we want to do is read the file. Let's see if there's an example here. Simple way to write JSON. Correct way to write beautified JSON. JavaScript read file. Let's just find the read file documentation. Read stream. So read file takes a path, which could be a string, buffer, URL, integer, options, encoding, flag, callback, error, and data. Well, let's start with something like this. I'm obviously going to change that exact code. I don't want to read my password file. So fs read file, I think we called it what, players.json? Players.json. Function. Let's see if there's an error. If like the file doesn't exist, let's just return. Actually, let's try this. Let's say console.log unable to load players, just so we have that for now. Then return. Otherwise, we want to say this dot player balances is equal to. We have some example code here to convert back to a map. We have JSON to map. Let's see, new map JSON.parse. New map JSON.parse, and the JSON string is going to be data. This looks like a much better way of writing that function. So let me just steal this and look for the function keyword. There we go, yeah. Let's just look at it here, and then it's arrow like that. So let's go see what that does. First, let's move players to something else, players.json.back, and go ahead and run it here. Yeah, so we have our error, unable to load players. That's fine. We expected that. Because I've moved that out of the way. If I do craps balance, I get my original balance back in response. So that's what we'd expect. Next thing to test is let's go ahead and create that file. So let's move players back to players.json. No error. So in theory, it read the balances. Let's go check my balance. So excellent. It does seem to be reading my balance just fine this time. Let's do another quick test here. Let's have stream elements do their betting, and let's have them do a win. I'll just use the cheat code to force a win there for them. And now let's do another bet. Well, let's just do a roll where they lose, or where it's a 7 out. Let's just do that real fast here. Craps roll 2-2. Craps roll 3-4. So now I should have updated the balances. Let's check my own balance here. I'm at 109, and stream elements should be at 101, but I can't test that directly without updating stream elements, so let's go look up the file, see what the file says. As here we have queued pixel with 109 and stream elements with 101, so that is accurate. And the only thing I might want to consider is, do we want to make this pretty? One of the links I was reading mentioned there's a parameter to stringify. So we have 3 parameters. Let's just see if there's a real documentation here. Real documentation. Let's try Node. I don't want an example, I just want... Oh, here we are. Replace a function that alters behavior of stringification process. The number of spaces to use as white space. Let's try 4 spaces for space and see what that does. We'll say we're stringify. So we have what we want to stringify, undefined, and 4 spaces for that. So let's give that another try. We'll just have to force a 7 out real fast, so we'll just run through the cheat process to do that. We'll say craps roll 2-2, craps roll 3-4. So out, that should have written the player's file, so let's go take a look. So we have queued pixel with 109 and stream elements with 101. So we have a nice pretty file that we can now edit if we wanted to, or at least it's easier to read if someone wants to read that manually.
Alright.
So I think we're at a decent commit point. Let's go take a look at our status here. Ah yes, we've got players.json. Let's go ahead and ignore players.json by git. So we don't accidentally commit that. Let's do a diff. So we've added players.json to git ignore. We've added a require on the file system library. We've changed our init timer function to be just init. We've added this section, read file. Let's actually delete this console log line. No reason to have the console log line around.
Very much alike.
That simplifies this block.
Remember all the happy times we had. Very much alike.
What else? Let's continue to take a look here. So ignore players.json, we've added in the file system requirement, we've renamed init, we read the file. If we have an error, so if the file doesn't exist or we can't read it, we just return. Otherwise, we set this player balance is equal to new map. Then, let's see, where is this? This is on the 7-out. On the 7-out, we write the file. We write to players.json, we stringify player balances, and we do the undefined comma 4, so we get a nice pretty version of it. If we do get an error, we simply throw the error. So I'm not sure what could cause the error. But hopefully that will cause... Hopefully this will cause the app to crash if we do get an error, and then we can investigate that if that does occur. Then we've, since we did rename the init timer function, we have to change that there as well. So yeah, the other things to consider here is, do we want to say something if we can't load the players? We did have that console log, unable to load players, which, since the default behavior, the first time you run it, that file is not going to exist. And so, do we want to say something? Probably not. We probably don't really care. Let's add it back here. Let's see here. You can say players.json, or see, unable to read players.json. Resetting player balances. Let's do another line here. Just so if that does occur, that the administrator or whoever's running this will see that, and will be able to take corrective action. So if something's wrong, they can investigate. If it's the first time they're running the app, it's not really going to be a big issue. They'll just ignore it. But this way, if they don't expect that, they'll see it and they'll want to take corrective action. Let's do a quick test and see what this looks like here. I'm going to read players.json, resetting player balances. Yeah, I think that works fine. let's move players back. Run it again. No error. If I do a craps balance, it still works. Excellent. Yeah, so I basically added that back. So we've added a more elaborate message so that an administrator will understand what's going on there. Everything else is the same. Yeah, so let's go ahead and commit that. There's the save player balances. All right, so what's next on my list? Update role formatting. So let's just look at this real fast. I'm going to go run the app and do a quick test. So let's just force a role using the cheat code here. Say craps about 3-4, or craps role 3-4. And so we can see the role I specified, 3-4, but then the role formatting we get from the class table is 3-4. And so I think I want to do spaces instead of the commas. Let's just try this and see what it looks like. Should have like a process role. Here we go. Yeah, so we role colon, so we could drop the comma. And I think drop this as well, and just see what that looks like. Drops role colon 347. I think that works. Let's do a quick test here. Set our config back down to 5 seconds for rolling delay. Do a quick test using stream elements here. Want to look at all the roles for a little bit and see if we like the role formatting here. 5-3 with a total of 8. 2-6 total 8. Wow. Point made right away. Nice. Stream element 1. And to allow stream elements to save that, let's just do another craps roll 2-2. Craps roll. Actually, I wonder if the roll, if it'll automatically start rolling now. Oh, yep. Seven out, 9 away, and that should save all of the balances at that point. So let's go take a look. That stream elements is now at 102. We are again need to catch up. Yeah, so that's a nice little change. I think I will keep that little formatting change there. And basically, we got rid of the comma, and we got rid of the hyphen. So no comma between the two die rolls, die 1 and die 2, and no hyphen between the die rolls and the total. And I think that's a cleaner look, so let's stick with that. Update role formatting. Alright, so next on the list is to start looking at these remaining craps bets. So the first on the list is don't pass. That's the opposite of the pass line. That's basically, the pass line is the most basic fundamental bet of craps, and don't pass is almost the exact opposite. There's a slight difference between the two. And this is going to require us to start looking at some refactoring to make this possible. So let's just take a look at our bet processing logic. Is all handled by the bet command. You check to make sure that the command starts with the word bet and a space, because it needs to be bet space and then followed by the type of bet you want to make. Then we do a substring in trim. Then we look for the pass line. If it's pass, if it's pass, then we check to see if there's a space after that, because you must also specify an amount. Let's see. I probably want to have like a process bet, or let's see. Because what's going to be the same between these bets here? So this logic is going to be the same for all of them. We all want to make sure there's a space after the word bet. Then we want to trim off everything. We want to trim off the word bet. And then we need to check to see, here's where it gets unique for each one. There's going to be a pass line, a don't pass. Then this will be the same. As we're going to make sure we have a space after the bet's type. I think that's the same for all bets. We're going to process the amount. That's going to be the same for all bets. There needs to be an amount. Oh, this song interesting. I want to look at the song here. Seven Seas. If you ever hear a song that is interesting, you always type in the song command. Sorry, I just got distracted by that song there briefly. Yeah, we're going to need to have an error for if the bet is too small, if it's less than 1. If it exceeds the player balance, we'll need to throw an error there. Let's see if the bet already exists. We'll complain. Yeah, so I think let's just make a function for this and see if we can pull this common stuff out. See, I already have lots of bet functions. What do I want to call it? We've got bet won, bet lost, process bets. How about handle bet? Handle bet. And we're going to need the username. And probably bet, I would say. We'll start with that. Then we're going to need the type, so let's pass in the type as well. I may not have to pass that in, but we'll try that for now and see what that looks like. And so first up, let's make sure it starts with the type and a space. So a bet starts with type plus a space. If it doesn't start with that, oops, a space, not the word pass, but a space, you must specify an amount. And what's next? Yeah, so let's do the parsing. Let's just grab all of this here. So var amount is equal to bet substring 4. What we need is to do type.length. If it's not a number, unable to parse. If it's less than 1 bet, it's too small. If it is greater than your balance, it exceeds your balance. All pretty basic, so let's continue on here. Then we have this check. So this needs to be configurable. We need to pass in which types of bets we are using. Now we have an example of this already. I think we have like a process bets. Yeah, we have process bets. Yeah, so let's just, let's call this bets. And pass in bets. See, the last thing I'm going to do is to actually place the bet, so let's send a user message. The bet is placed and start the timer. I'd say we need to configure bets, or use the bets that were passed in. So user message, bet made, set the bet, username, amount, and start the timer. And let's go take, look, actually, yeah, we'll start with this. This is the most basic setup here. So we'll start with this, and we'll see. We'll have to think about more elaborate logic down the road. But I think this will work for the pass line. So if bet starts with pass, let's do this dot. So handle bet. We need to pass in a bunch of stuff here. So username is the same. Type is pass. Bet is this dot pass bets. And bet is this right up here. Yeah, so if it starts with pass, then we handle the pass bet. Otherwise, I was just say unrecognized bet. So let's just do a quick test and make sure that all of this logic still works. Which is unfortunately going to be a little bit messy, but we'll just run through it here. An expected identifier handle bet should be this dot handle bet. Oh, we know we need a comma. Alright, so I'll just run through all the basics here. Say craps should give us an error saying need to specify a command. So craps bet. You must specify which bet you wish to make. We support the pass bet. So let's do something besides pass. We'll say bet foo. Unrecognized bet. So craps bet pass. You must specify an amount. Craps bet pass kappa. Unable to parse bet. All right. Craps bet pass -1. Bet is too small. Craps bet pass 1,000 or 10,000. Bet exceeds your balance of 109. Let's just look at the code and make sure we've hit all the things here. So you must specify an amount. We've done. Unable to parse bet. We've done. Bet is too small. Exceeds your balance. Oh, I've already made this bet. I haven't tested that yet. So I need to make the bet and then make it again. So craps bet pass 1. I say 2. You've already made this bet. Excellent. So all of the logic seems to be in place. And that's going to run itself out here, so I'm just going to craps roll 2, 2, craps roll 1, 3, craps roll 2, 2, craps roll, just to have this kind of end the round here, and 7 out. That'll save my new winnings as well. Alright, so we've refactored this logic. The next is to now support the don't pass bet. We're going to abbreviate this as dpass. We'll say dpass bets is equal to a new map. If bet starts with dpass, don't know why it didn't complain. I need semicolons after those. JavaScript seems to be pretty flexible when it comes to syntax on some of these things, but I like to be consistent, even if it's not strictly necessary. So this should be enough to allow you to place a don't pass bet. Let's go update our guide. This was D pass. Let's see, is that the correct term for that bet? Let's go look up your craps documentation. The pass is the most fundamental bet in crap. The odds don't pass. The don't pass is almost the opposite of the pass line bet. Of the what's this pass line bet? Let's just say available bets. Now let's see. I'll have to think this through at some point and update the guide as I add more stuff, but we'll stick with just the basics for the moment for now. So I've updated the guide, we've updated our command processing to allow the don't pass bet to be made. What we don't have is processing of that bet. So let's go look up our roll logic and add in how to handle winners and losers of that bet. Okay, so if we have no point and you roll a 7 or 11, that's a winner for the pass line. And you can see we have process bet, so we pass in pass bets and we say this bet won. The trouble is, well, and then so this would be like a loser for the don't pass, which I could add in a copy paste of this line, pass in don't pass bets, and then pass in bet lost, and that will certainly handle it. However, one of the problems, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's just see what that looks like. It's going to be a bit of a mess, but I'll just want to show you what this will look like here. So this process bets, and this is going to be D-pass bets, and it'd be bet lost. Check to see if we have a loser. Alright, so a 2, 3, or 12, that's craps, and that is a loser for the pass bet. However, only 2 and 3 is a winner for the don't pass. A 12 is a push. So you want to say if die total does not equal 12, if it's not 12, then we'll say D-pass bets 1. Otherwise it's a push. Well, then here's the problem. We have the stop timer, but in this case, if we roll a 12, we still have an outstanding bet. We still have our potential don't pass bets are potentially still outstanding, and so we'll want to do a check and see if there are any outstanding bets, and if there are, we don't stop the timer. So I'll have to think that through a little bit here. But I'm just ignoring that for the moment. We're just kind of processing this stuff here. check to see if we've established a point. So if that's the case, there's no change to either bets. The pass line and it, or the pass and the don't pass don't change at all here. If the point was made, the pass bets win, and the don't pass bets lose. Let's go D pass bets, and we'll say lost. Check to see if we've sevened out. In this case, the pass bets lose, and the don't pass bets win. Otherwise, any other roll doesn't really matter. Nothing changes. So let's go take a look at this real fast. I'm going to place a pass and a don't pass bet, and both will score, or both will hit. Either one will win and one will win and one will lose. And so I'm going to see what that looks like, and make sure that this does work. To get to the chat window, so let's say craps bet pass of 1 bet made. Now let's say craps bet. Oh, okay, so we have a bug there. Let's fix that bug before we continue. Here we go. I need an else on this. Yeah, so let's go. We don't need to have all this lined up here. It's not going to make any sense. Else. So that should fix that. So let's try that one more time. Say craps bet pass of 1 bet made, and now say craps bet D pass of 1. Cannot read property has of undefined. Okay. There's like something in my code here. This dot D pass bets. I thought that's what I called it in my... Oh, bats. Let's fix that. Bets, not bats. Pass. Bats. Alright, so I only misspelled it in that one spot. Excellent. Try this one more time. So I'll make a pass line bet, or craps bet pass of 1. Craps bet D pass of 1. Now let's do a roll here. Say craps roll 3, 4. So QPixel won $1 and lost $1. And so in cases like this where you have multiple bets that are won and lost, I would rather accumulate all of those and only have one message for the total amount that is won and lost. So let's take a look and see what we can do with that here. So we have these process bets functions here. And here we have username, won, lost, And I think what I'd like to do is to slowly accumulate like the results of bets. So let's see, let's start with bet results. There's a new map. Here's our process bets section. So yeah, I don't want to grab this logic, so I will save this. Let's go dump this down here. Now, let me just make a note of all the things I'm working on here. So, combine, win, loss, messages. That's what we're working on right now. So this is a current refactoring. Next up, so another issue I could think of is we need to check the update, or we need a more intelligent balance check. So when you place a bet, we check to see if the bet you're placing exceeds your current balance, but we don't check that against your existing bets. So right now you could place $100 on the pass line and then place $100 more on the don't pass, and that would exceed your balance because you only have a starting balance of 100. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. More intelligent timer handling. That's the stuff I have on the top of my mind right now, so we'll just continue on with the process and see where we get here. But right now is the combine win-loss messages. Yeah, so let's say if this dot bet results. Oh, there's a dot has in it or something. Yeah, dot has. It has username, or if it doesn't have username, this dot bet results dot set username comma 0. So we'll put in a bet result of 0 for the username. And we'll say this dot bet results dot set username this dot bet results dot get username plus results. We're basically accumulating all of their results. As they win and lose, we continue to update their bet results by adding each individual results to their results. Let's go ahead and drop this. Let's add a new function for show bet results. For the username of bet results.keys. Say var results is equal to bet results.get username. And now we need to do show bet results at the end of any roll. So let's go look up our rolls. Let's go look at this here. So we check to see if we have a 7 or 11. If we do, pass line win, don't pass loses. To make these more specific here. So we've checked to see if we have a pass bet winner, checked to see if we have a pass bet loser, checked to see if we've established a point. Check to see if the point was made. Check to see if we've 7'd out. Now we say this. Show bet results. So now it'll add up all the bet results. If you've won and lost, it'll now show the combined result. So let's give this a real test real fast here and see what that looks like. It doesn't like something. Line 156. Let's go take a look at 156. Oh, I have a comma there, or a period rather than a comma. Let's add in the comma and give this a try. So again, I'm going to make a couple of different bets here. Let's say craps bet pass line of 10 and craps bet don't pass of 5. Now let's use our cheat code to force a winner here. Bet results is not defined. All right. So line 150, let's go take a look at line 150. Needs to be this.bet results. Let's try this one more time. So say craps bet pass line of 10, craps bet don't pass of 5. Now let's cheat and force a winner here. That result's not defined again. This is line 152, so same error, just a different line. Before I test this again, let's just look over this and make sure I'm not missing anything else. Oh, I think that's just it. I just had bet results listed twice and forgot to put a this in front of it both times. So I'll try it one more time. And same as before, we'll say craps. I cannot type craps bet pass line of 10, craps bet don't pass of 5, and craps roll 3, 4. We have a 7, so the pass line wins. and I overall won $5. So my pass line won $10. My don't pass lost $5. And so the end result is I won 5. That might be a little cleaner if I was to have a result other than one of those bets. So let's do a craps bet pass of 10 and a craps bet don't pass of 8. Let's actually force a failure at this point. Let's say, oh no, let's do one more success just so we can see how success looks here. So we win right away. I won $7. So my pass line of $10 won. My don't pass of Okay, so we're not clearing out the bets. What's happening here is it's adding on each time. So if I do another craps line bet of 10 and win that right away, it should say I won 17 because it's going to take the 7 and add 10 to it because I don't clear out the bet results each time. Yeah, so let's go fix that. Show bet results. And this should just be this dot bet results dot clear. So a useful test. Let's try this one more time. So yeah, let's try the winning case. So I say craps bet pass of 10, craps bet don't pass of 8, and now let's force a win. Craps roll 3, 4, and I won $2. So my pass line of 10 won, and my don't pass of 8 lost. Now let's just make sure that's reset each time. So let's do a single bet. Craps bet pass 10. Craps roll 3, 4 to force a win. Excellent, so that is working. So now let's try the losing case. We'll say craps bet pass of 10. Craps bet don't pass of 8. And then craps roll 1, 1. So we're going to force a loser here. And I lost $2. So I lost my pass bet of 10, but I won my don't pass of 8. Now let's try this one more time. Let's see, I should have I have no bets, so let's do a craps pass of 10. And a craps bet pass 10. Craps bet don't pass of 8. And let's try to do boxcars. This is a special scenario. Boxcars, the pass bet will lose, but the don't pass won't have any effect. So let's just try that real fast. We'll say craps roll 6, 6. So I will lose my $10, but nothing happens to my don't pass bet. Now let's force a winner. So let's do a craps roll 3, 4 to force a winner. That should cause me to lose my don't pass as well. There we go. And no bet should be in place if I do another roll, like a 3, 4. Which have no effect at all because I've got no bets in place. So cool, that all seems to be working for the moment. let's go take a look at my continued refactoring here. So I've combined win-loss messages. So if you have multiple wins and multiple losses, they get combined into just one win-loss message. More intelligent balance check when placing bets. Yeah, so this is a good one here. So let's go look up the code. I have a check to see when you're placing a bet if that bet exceeds your balance. And so let's look at my balance right now. Is my bot still running? It is. Let's go look at my balance. Craps balance. Balance of 102. So I could say place a craps pass, bet pass. If I do 103, it should complain. Let's just try that real fast. Bet exceeds your balance of 102. So let's say craps bet pass 102. And then I could say craps bet don't pass 102. I shouldn't be allowed to do this because I already have a $102 bet on the table, and it should limit my available balance to what I'm able to, based on what I have in my bankroll that is not on the table. And so it should not allow me to place that bet. Let's go ahead and end this roll here. Craps roll 3-4 just to get that out of the way. QPixel lost 0. Okay, so that's another potential issue. If I win and lose and have a combined of 0, because my win and loss is exactly the same, I probably don't want to output that. So let's look at the show bet results. We could say if result greater than 0, do that. We could say if result is less than 0, do this. And just do nothing if it is 0. That's probably a nice simple change to try there. Let's go ahead and give that a try. Hello, Homez Draws, or Homesy Draws. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there. Welcome to the stream. Catching me developing my Twitch Craps Table chat bot here. Just doing some simple testing with my current refactory. I've got kind of the fundamental logic in place, and I'm kind of adding in more functionality and having to do some refactoring to support that. So that's kind of what you're catching in the middle of here. If you want to look at the code, it is all available on GitHub. You ask, hey man, I'm stuck on this piece of code for the last 10 hours. Ouch. That could be challenging, being stuck on the same piece of code. I've been there before. That's tough sometimes. Here's a link to the help documentation as well, if you want something you can click on. Alright, so I've done some basic testing. We've set it up so that if you win and lose the same amount so that your overall bet result is 0, we do not output any result information. There's no point in saying you've lost 0. That's kind of pointless. So next step is more intelligent balance check when placing bets. So let's go take a look at that here. fixed user balance of get balance. What I probably need yeah, kind of what I need is to get your overall balance and then to be able to get your available balance. In fact, if we run the balance command, let's go pull up the right chat window here. It'd be nice if I would have like my total balance and then my available balance, so I could see how much is available for placing on bets. So let's go look at this here. So we have a get balance command, or a get balance function. So maybe like a get available balance. So we can say var balance is equal to this dot get balance for username. Yeah, username. So home Z draws. I was going to ask you what you're working on here, but let me see what you said. I'm super new to coding language, but I'm getting there, but I do not know how to play a GIF, then change it with a chat command with a second GIF image. The second image is on a timer and returns to the first image. I've done half of this, but for some reason, my first GIF is invisible. So that sounds like you're maybe trying to do something with JavaScript in a web browser. It's not really clear what's going on. I haven't done a whole lot of JavaScript stuff within web browsers, but if it's something that I've seen before, I might be able to help you with that. So we got our balance using the Twitch browser and chat. Using the Twitch browser. Like a web browser open to the Twitch webpage, or something else. The chat command. Yeah, I'm just not sure what you're trying to do. See, if passbets.has username, then balance minus equals get username. So we're basically, if we have a pass bet for this user, we adjust their balance by subtracting that bet from their balance. Let's actually make this available balance. Then we'll do the same thing for the don't pass bets here. So dpass bets has username. Available balance minus dpass bets get username. We've got available balance. Let's go look up. I think there's like a balance command, maybe. Yeah, where is that? There it is. So we can say this dot balance is equal to this get balance. This dot, oops, yeah, so what are you, so Holmes draws, what are you trying to, what, you said Twitch browser, what is that? I'm not familiar with the Twitch browser. Is this like a web browser open up to the Twitch homepage, or is this some special application? I'm just not familiar with what you're trying to do. Holmes Draw says I got a AHK file with the main bit of coding that runs on my PC. Pixel image is the second piece of coding on the custom command settings on the Streamlabs. Awesome, okay. So Streamlabs. Unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with Streamlabs. I actually haven't done anything with Streamlabs. I use Stream Elements for my own stream, and I'm not familiar with Streamlabs. However, one of the things I found pretty helpful is to just try to Google your problem. You could say, so like Google Streamlabs, you replace GIF, how to change alert animation, and maybe that's something to try to do, is an alert animation, setting up Streamlabs widgets. And so depending on exactly what you're trying to do, you can look at some of these search results and see if there's something that applies to what you're trying to do. You might have to tweak your search to be more specific to exactly what you're trying to do, because I'm not exactly certain what you're trying to do there, but this will hopefully give you some help and advice and some ideas for how to try to fix what you're working on. Now, that's pretty much 90% of what I do as a developer. Is I have an error message that I don't understand. I type it into Google and see how to fix it. You can kind of see all the stuff I have going up already here. A couple of stringifies, how to read and write files, how to convert maps to JSON. Actually, I have balance and available balance. Let's say we can do this and say balance, since we've already gotten it. Let's see, you say the Twitch browser is the OBS Streamlabs chat box that connected to Twitch. I searched the internet for a custom GIF appear on chat commands, and really nothing is popping up. Let's see, Streamlabs. Chat command animation, maybe. Chat command triggers GIF sound on stream. So, I don't know, maybe something like this. I don't know if this is something that would do what you want. It looks like you could do this OBS timed source. So that I'm not sure what all this does, because again, I haven't worked with these tools, but this might be something that that you could use. I'll just paste this URL in the chat real fast, see if that's something that's useful for you. Let's have our balance and available balance. So if balance is equal to available balance, then we could do... sure, anytime. I hope it helps. I know that starting with coding can be a real struggle sometimes. There's just so much out there and so much to learn. And so and it's tough to know what to look for and what to make sense of. So I definitely understand the struggle. Hopefully that does help. Other options is you can look for forums for the tools you're using and just ask your question. Say, hey, I'm trying to do this, and see if someone's able to respond and give you some tips that way as well. But yeah, I definitely understand the struggle. It's tough when you're first getting started with some new technology and just not sure what to do. Actually, let's see here. Let's say var message is equal to this. And we'll just send out the message. So if balance does not equal, we want to adjust the message, say message plus equals maybe available balance is that. Let's do a semicolon between them. This dot format currency available balance. That's getting a little lengthy. See, Holmes Draw says that's okay, but I have to put them on a different file instead for it to be in a bulk. But that's a lot closer than what you had before. You're welcome. Happy to help. Oops. Yeah, so we start with the message being just the balance, and then we format the currency. If your balance is not equal to your available balance, then we output available balance as well. So that seems like a good thing to test with, so let's run this real fast and test it and see what it does. The craps. Let's just do craps balance just to see what it looks like. Okay, we've got a crash here. Let's fix that. Got some copy pasta issues. Oh, that actually might make this small to fit on one line. No, just... Yep, that'll work. It's right on the edge of what I will accept. I'll take it. Let's try this one more time. Balance is 110. Available balance is not a number. Okay. Let's go fix that. Available balance is not working. Let's go look up available balance and see what it's doing. So var, oh, I never return available balance. Try one more time, this time with feeling. So balance is 110. Now let's make a pass bet of, say, 25. So craps bet pass 25. Craps balance. Excellent, so we see my balance is 110, but my available balance is 85 because I have that $25 bet, and I'm not able to place a. Well, I shouldn't be able to place a $110 bet. I haven't added the logic yet. This is mostly to add in the framework. So now let's go fix up that logic. Let's see, if amount is greater than balance, let's actually say var available balance is equal to this dot get available balance for username. If amount is greater than available balance. Oh, looks like the chatbot is running in the background. I forgot it will do that if I let it sit for a minute, so I'll let that run. We'll see if anything crashes while I'm working on it here. Bet exceeds your available balance. That's enough to fit on one line? Not quite. So I think this will work here. So we get the available balance, we check to see if the amount is greater than your available balance. If it is, then we print out your available balance. So let's give that a try. I'm going to stop the bot while it's still processing here, and we'll see if we could break it. So say craps balance should still be 110. Now let's do a craps bet pass of, say, 75. Check my balance again. Oops, needs to be craps balance. So balance is 110, available balance is 35. So if I make say a $40 bet, say craps bet don't pass for $40. Bet exceeds our available balance of 35. So let's make a $35 don't pass bet. And cool, that all seems to be working just fine. Yeah, so more intelligent balance check when placing bets is done. More intelligent timer handling, that's also on the list. And also I just considered limit when don't pass bets can be made. Right now, you can place a don't pass bet at any time, even after the initial come out roll has been made. And of course, that's a big no-no, because that first roll is where it's the come out roll is actually the most dangerous roll for the don't pass bet. And so once that roll is made, the casino will not allow you to place a don't pass bet at that time. Right now, my logic does not prohibit that. But hey, my bet won there. My don't pass lost. My pass bet won. So lucky me. Let's check my balance. Oops. Craps balance. Balance is 150. So yeah, so if I say, well, let's do a craps roll, whatever, it doesn't really matter what it is at this point. We'll establish a point of 8. And now, I shouldn't be allowed to make a don't pass bet. So let's say craps bet don't pass 10. That's a wonderful time to make that bet because it's a lot more likely to hit at this point than before that initial roll, and so we need to have a limitation on when the don't pass bets can be made. Let's actually look at that right away. this is a little tricky because we have this kind of simplification of how bets can be made. We have this handle bet that we pass in the username, the bet type, either pass or don't pass, the bets map that we use to track the bets, and then the string which represents the bet, which would be the bet amount, assuming the user is typing that incorrectly. And meanwhile, the bot's going to continue to roll in the background while I continue to work on this. And so what are my options? I could... and this function is really great in that it handles all the logic. We check to see if we have an amount. We check to see if the amount can be parsed. You check to see if the amount is too small, less than 1. You check to see if it exceeds your available balance. That's the logic we just completed. We check to see if you've already made this bet. And then we actually place the bet. And so, right around in here, we need the check for if it's a don't pass to not allow the bet to be made if it is if the point is set. And so probably the easiest thing to do is to add in like a check function. So let's try that. Let's say pass check. I need the username. For now, just the username. And if this dot point is not equal to 0, then we need to say this user message cannot bet, don't pass when a point is set. And return false. Otherwise, return true. So we have type, bet, bet. Probably next is check function. What did I call it? D-pass check. Now while that roll is continuing to run, we're waiting for a point of 8. We've hit 11,659. Still waiting for either an 8 or a 7 to come up, and neither one has come up yet. So I need a comma in here. Did I do this wrong? Let's see here. We have username, type, bets. Yeah, I need to swap these. null goes here, and the dpass check goes here. There's our 6, but no 8 yet. Yeah, let's do a quick check. Let's see here. JavaScript null check. Yeah, define versus null pitfall in JavaScript. No definition is undefined, which also means no value, no type, and never been referenced before in its scope. Null is where the property exists, but it isn't known what its value is. Let's see, maybe undefined check. Type of... One of the problems with using Stack Overflow is sometimes the answers aren't always fantastic. It looks like equals 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 undefined is the way to do it, so let's give that a try. And so he wants to do this check. Say... here. So if... what was it? Check function. So if check function is not undefined, then let's just combine the calls here. So if it's not undefined, or so it's not undefined, so it is defined, and check function, and it takes what? Username is all we specified so far. We'll say username. No, we want to do an inner loop here, an inner if. So if it's not defined, let's just grab this. We'll say if not check function username will return. We'll just return. Yeah, so we check to see if it's defined. If it is defined, we call it. If it returns false, that means there was a problem and we return. Otherwise, we do nothing and allow the bet to be made. And well, this bet over here has not been resolved yet. Oh, there we go. Finally got resolved. I won $10. Woohoo! So I think that's perfect timing to do this next check here. So let's restart and see what we get. So as before, let's do a simple roll. I'll force it with the cheat command there. And now let's do craps bet don't pass of 10. Okay. You've got a issue here. This.userMessage is not a function. Somehow I've lost my bindings. And I've found out how to resolve this before. Let's go look for the bind keyword. So this dot dPassCheck dot bind this. So basically it'll continue to use this class as its context and should have access to that function. Of course, this line is now too long, so let's go ahead and wrap this line. And see if that works. So as before, we will force a roll and try to bet the don't pass, a craps bet don't pass of 10. You cannot bet don't pass when a point is set. Okay, excellent. Now let's try a pass bet. There is no prohibition against betting a pass line bet right now, so craps bet pass of 5. Type error. Check function is not a function. Alright. Probably because I passed in null instead of undefined, so let's pass in undefined. And try this one more time. So let's force a roll. Say craps roll 2-2. Craps bet don't pass of 5. You cannot bet don't pass when a point is set. Let's see, let's look at my available balance. Craps balance. So still 160. So let's try a pass line bet. Craps bet pass of 5. Bet made. Excellent. And now let's force this to air out. Say craps roll 3-4. So that should cause me to lose my $5. Now let's place a don't pass bet and make sure that that does work now. So say craps bet don't pass of 5. Excellent. Bet is made. So I think that's it. I think we limit when don't pass bets can be made, and I think we're done there. Next up is more intelligent timer handling. I'll look at this while the craps bot continues to run in the background. So I'm talking about the timer handling. I've got a simple timer that runs and tells us when our craps timer runs, when we roll the dice. So we have this function that we call once every second, I think it is. We have a variable timer running. If timer running is false, we do nothing. We simply return. Otherwise, we check the counter, or we decrement the counter. If it is less than or equal to 0, So we process a random roll. So let's go look up random roll. Process random roll. We randomly determine the two dice, die 1, die 2, and then call process roll. Process roll does all the main logic here. We print out the roll, both dice, the total, check to see if we have no point. We have process bets, stop timer. Yeah, so we have cases like this. If we have no bets, or sorry, if we win, if we have no point and we roll a 7 or 11, we win, and we know that there's no bets at this point, and so we stop the timer. As we continue to add in more and more bets, it's possible there's going to be bets that will exist beyond this, like a come bet might still be out there as an option. Particularly if you're 111, a come bet might still be out there. There might be a fire bet or something else. There might be more long-term bets that still exist and want to not stop the timer if that's the case. So kind of my thought is to remove the stop timer, all these stop timer calls, and even the start timer calls. And even this one, and basically go to the very end and go, if there are still bets, or if the point is set, we start the timer. So let's just try that. Let's say if there are no bets and no point, stop the timer. Otherwise, start the timer. The point was made. I lost by $5. No! If there are no bets and no points, stop the timer. Otherwise, start the timer. So yeah, let's see. We've got our two sources of bets. Let's say if this dot pass bets, is there like an is empty? I don't think so. JavaScript map is empty. So we have a size, but no is empty. So yeah, so we can say if the map, is it size, I guess? Where did it go? Yeah, we'll say size. If the map dot size so that's equal to 0, and if the dpass bet size is equal to 0, and this dot point is equal to 0, and this dot start timer. Let's stop the timer. Yeah, let's line this stuff up. else. Yeah. This dot start timer. So if there are no bets, no pass line bets, no don't pass bets, and there is no point, we stop the timer. Otherwise, we continue the timer. We could maybe even make this even more elaborate, because we might have a series of, we might be in a roll series. So like until you actually 7 out, you have a continuous running series that goes until you 7 out. So it might make sense to continue the timer until you've actually completed the whole series. Because of course we don't actually write out the player bets or the player balances until the series is completed. So that might be another option. So let's well, first let's drop all of these. We'll drop this stop timer here. We'll drop this. Let's show bet results at the end. Let's drop stop timer here. Drop start timer here. Stop timer, drop stop timer. Let's just double check and see if there's any more occurrences of start or stop timer and make sure they make sense. So we have start timer. We have our function declaration. We start it here, the code we just wrote. Then we start it here whenever a bet is made. So that all looks good. Let's try stop timer. We have our function declaration. We stop it if we have no bets and no point. And we have a function, so that's it. We only have our one spot where we stop the timer, so that looks good. Let's create a new variable, like say series started. Make that false. Series running. We'll say series running. Series running is false. Now let's look at our handle roll function. Say this dot series running is equal to true. Then when we 7 out, we will say series running is equal to false. And so now we can say a set of points. You say not series running. If there are no bets and no series running, stop the timer. Just think of this through a little bit here. The only downside with doing this is if there's a real long-running series for whatever reason, like some roles can last for a good long while. Let's just do a Google search and say the longest craps roll. The longest craps roll lasted 3 hours and 6 minutes. Accomplished at the Las Vegas Casino in 1989 with 118 rolls. .154 roll lucky streak, which lasted 4 hours and 18 minutes, broke the world's records for longest craps roll. Alright, so 154 rolls. Our timer rolls about once per minute, and so if we're going to have a similar roll in our bot, that'd be what, 122 hours, roughly 2.5 hours? Yeah, because 120 would be 2 hours. 150 would be, yeah, so 2 hours and 34 minutes. And so if we do have a roll that is sufficiently lucky, or a series that is sufficiently lucky, we could have a very lengthy period of time where we're running a roll here. I think I'm going to leave it though. If people complain or it becomes an issue, the other options is to check to see if there are no bets, and if there's no bets, then save everyone's stuff. I also like to do the check for minimum balances here. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's undo the change we just did. Just in case we get lucky. Let's drop the series running logic here. Yeah, so we could say, if there are no bets and no point, stop the timer. Reset player balances and save there. We'll just do this in a more elaborate structure here. So we'll and stop the timer. So check minimum balances. How about we say check minimum balances, save player balances, and stop the timer. So every time we hit this point, no bets, no point, we will check balances. Basically anyone who is less than 100 will reset their balance to 100. We will write out the file, and we will stop the timer. Otherwise, if we have one or more bets, or if we have a point, we will keep the timer running. So the intent is to keep going until there's either no bets or no point. So let's give this a test. Let's to speed things up, I'm going to set the timer to 5 seconds, so things will run a little bit faster. And let's just see what's going on. So first, to test this, I'm going to do a don't pass bet. 5, and then I'm going to force a 12 result, which will leave the point at 0, but there'll still be a bet. So we'll just confirm that, that this still works. So I have a point of 8, so now we're going to keep rolling until either a 7 or an 8 is hit. Alright, so 7 got hit, 7 out. I lost, or I won my $5, excellent. And there should be no other rolls. And so we can have a pass line bet and a winner, so let's try this, a craps bet pass of 5. Actually, let's do craps roll 5, 6. So I'll have a pass line winner. We still won't have a point, and we shouldn't have any bets, so that should still be fine. Trying to think of how to have an outstanding pass line bet with no point. Probably not a way of doing so. That I could think of. I certainly have a don't pass bet with no point. We tested that. Oh, we can have a point, but no bet. So let's try that. Let's say no point and a bet. Oh yeah, we could say craps bet don't pass 5. Let's establish a point and win it. Oh no, it's still no good. I think we have a bet without a point. Yeah, I guess the only way to do that is with the 12. If we do the don't pass with a 12, we can have a bet without a point. And we have a point without a bet. We can have a point without a bet. I could certainly force it. I could do a quick test here and force a roll. And so we have a point without a bet. Oops. Craps roll 2, 2. And so yeah, we continue to roll until we 7 out, until we have no point. So that does work. What other tests could I run here? Let's just try a quick test and make sure it is writing out the player balances. So what is my balance? 160. Let's say craps. Bet. Pass. 160. Let's go ahead and double this. Craps roll 3, 4. 160. Oops. My balance is now 320. Excellent. Let's go check the... Excellent. Yeah, so I wrote that out as well. So we've successfully changed that logic. So I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Add more intelligent timer handling. Let's just go look at our changes here. So we've added a new map for don't pass bets. We call it dpass bets. We've added bet results. We've added get available balance. We get our balance, and then we subtract the bets that are made and return the available balance. Here, for displaying bet results, we don't display results right away. Instead, we accumulate them in bet results. Then we have show bet results that shows the accumulated results and clears those out at the very end. Updated our comments, check to see if we have a pass line winner. Then we process bets, the pass line wins, the don't pass loses. Check to see if we have a pass bet loser. In this case, if the die total is not 12, the don't pass wins. If the roll is a 12, the don't pass is a push, so nothing happens there. We get rid of all the start timers and stop timers, remove the timer logic to the end of this function. Let's see if the point was made. The pass bet wins, the don't pass loses. If we 7 out, the pass bet loses, the don't pass wins. And here's the new logic we've added. If there are no bets and no point, check minimum balances, save player balances, and stop the timer. Otherwise, start the timer for the next roll. Oh yeah, let's add that comment back. Otherwise, start the timer for the next roll. Hello, welcome to the stream. Please don't bash certain technologies. Everyone has their preference. Alright, so otherwise start the timer for the next roll. It asks, what am I doing? I am working on a Twitch chatbot that implements a craps table. What am I doing with my Linux computer? I'm doing software development. Is it Python? No, this is JavaScript. Yep, JavaScript. Otherwise, start the timer for the next roll. So just change that comment, made it a colon rather than a comma. I have no idea what it is. Well, it is a... You have no idea what is JavaScript or a chatbot. Let's see the balance command. We have updated this to displays the available balance. So we check to see what your available balance is, and we print out both your balance and your available balance. You ask what my bot will do. So it's basically implementing a basic craps table implementation. If you're familiar with craps or not familiar with craps, you can go to this website, wizardofodds.com/game/craps/basics. And you're able to place bets, pass bet, don't pass bet, and the bot will roll the dice and give you the results of your bets, and you can win or lose. It's all fake money, so no real money is being exchanged here. But just a pretty basic craps table implementation. You don't know what craps is. Well, it's a casino game. And probably the best thing to do is just read about it on this website here. It's fairly complex, but there's some simple bets you can make if you do want to play. I ask, you will say roll or stuff probably. I actually do have a roll command built in. It's for a developer to test with. And yeah, probably the best thing to do is just show you what it does. So I have a version of it running, so let's just take a quick look. So let's let me make sure my configuration is working. Let's go ahead and run it. Probably the best way to show you what it does here. So I will have stream elements do a bet. You can bet the craps or the pass bet by saying craps bet pass and then the dollar amount. If you want help for know how to play, there's a help that you can use, a player guide. So I'm gonna bet the don't pass. And I'll bet $25 on that. You ask, can you do it with bits? No, I very much doubt that Twitch would allow gambling with bits. And I'm also not an affiliate or a partner, so I don't have access to bits either. But I'm not aware of a way to add and remove bits. And I can't imagine Twitch would allow gambling with bits either. So the bot will wait about a minute between rolls, so it's going to continue to run in the background. While it's doing that, I'm going to look up, continue my commit over here. Yep, there's the next roll, so we've established a point of 8. Now for the craps table, once we've established a point, we roll 2 six-sided dice. And then if you roll a 2, 3, or 12, that's a lose. If you roll a 7 or 11, that's a win. If you roll any other number, like in this case I've rolled an 8, I now need to roll another 8 before I roll a 7 in order to win. So the only 2 numbers that matter at this point is the 8 or the 7. Anything else we can pretty much ignore. In the meantime, I'm going to go look over my commit log and get prepared to commit my latest changes. Yeah, so we've added a new data structure for don't pass bets. We've added a new data structure for bet results. We've added a new function get available balance. This is so that we can see what your balance is minus any of your your existing bets. So if I type in craps balance, it shows me my current balance and then my available balance. So you say someone has a German chick streams on science technology, has a pseudo curling game. Cool, yeah, I've seen all sorts of cool stuff show up there. And you type throw some numbers. Not sure what those mean. Probably angle and speed or something. Horizontal and vertical speed is really fun. Cool, yeah. I'm working towards doing some more games. I'm learning Unity and trying to get into more game development stuff. I'm kind of doing this as a test in the meantime to keep my skills sharp while I learn Unity and get ready for more game development. And there's our 8. So the point was made. So stream elements wins and I lose. And that's the complete roll. So now the bot won't do anything until more bets are made. Alright, so when we're processing bet results, instead of saying you won or lost right away, we accumulate those results into a bet results data structure. Then we have show bet results to iterate over that and show those results at the very end. So I've updated our main dice logic here. We've updated our comments. We've added in the don't pass bets. Same here. Don't pass is a win if you roll a 2 or a 3, but not a 12. We've changed how timers are handled. Added don't pass is a loser if you make your point. Don't pass is a winner if you 7 out. And here we have logic. We check to see if there's any bets. If there's no bets and no point, then we kind of reset the game. We check player balances, check minimum balances. We write out the player balances to a file, and we stop the timer. So we'll stop the die rolls. Otherwise, we'll start the timer for the next die roll. And finally, at the very end, we show bet results. We've updated balance command so that it shows out both your balance and your available balance. We've updated extensively how bets are handled. If bet starts with pass, we call handle bet pass. Otherwise, if it starts with D pass, we call handle bet of D pass. We've created this handle bet function. We've moved all of the bet processing logic down here. So we check to see it starts with a space so that you specify an amount after you specify the bet. We attempt to parse it, and we complain if we can't parse it. If the amount is less than 1, we complain. If it exceeds your available balance, we complain. If the bet already exists, we complain. If all that is good, we have a check function that we call. This is how we handle kind of per bet logic. So the don't pass has certain logic that the pass bet does not have. And so we use that to check logic for the don't pass bets. If it passes all of that, we say bet is made, start the timer, and place the bet. Here's the don't pass check. So if the point is not 0, you're not allowed to make a bet when a point is set. Make a don't pass bet. Then we've updated our guide to include the new don't pass bet. So add the don't pass bet. See, this is all stuff that was done last time. I just want to maintain the stuff that I've done this time today. That's committed. Let me go ahead and push that to GitHub. So that way the player guide that just got updated will be updated on GitHub as well. Yeah, pass and don't pass. Right. So just looking at some of the other bets to add here, I'm actually at a pretty good stopping point. I've done a lot of refactoring. I've added a bunch of cool stuff, and it is getting close to lunchtime for me. So I'm tempted to run out and grab lunch and continue this some other time. These bets are a little more complicated because the come and don't come, they work pretty much exactly like the pass and don't pass. The exception is that they could be made if you already have a point. But otherwise they work identically to the pass and don't pass. And so it's going to require some more elaborate data structures, more elaborate processing. And I don't think I'm prepared to start that right now. So yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out my next stream, my schedule is here. I was working on today on the Twitch Craps Table chatbot. My next stream will be Sunday, February 17th at 9 a.m. If anyone does wish to poke at the chatbot, I'll leave it running for a few minutes here while I'm wrapping up my stream. So feel free to give it a try if you want. Otherwise, I will catch you next time. Thank you for checking me out, and have a great day.